space hologram in which we live. Time is the fourth dimension, so like space, heights, width, and depth, and then time. So it's just one more point. And through a technology, you can dial up height, width, and depth and time, any point that you want to access. And there are 8 different time travel technologies. The affidavit here is a sworn a sworn statement, an affidavit by Lieutenant Commander U.S. Chrononaut Andrew D. Bashago, who is currently an attorney in the state of Washington with a very successful practice. As an attorney, he is an officer of the court. So if he swears a false affidavit, he's committing perjury.
Right.
And that would be a very serious offense because it would be cause for his removal from the bar.
Well, and just a little offset to this is Andrew and yourself worked closely with Jesse Ventura to bring this out to the mainstream television in regards to this program. Am I correct?
Yes, and also I have met and interviewed 6 other whistleblowers from the secret U.S. time travel program, and they all give similar accounts. Mm-hmm. So that we have Andrew is not the only whistleblower who's coming out and saying, yes, the U.S. government has a secret time travel and teleportation program.
The jump program, the elevator program to Mars, correct?
Yeah, that's one of the 8 different programs. The difference between time travel and teleportation is that in teleportation, you are teleporting along a single timeline. And in time travel, you're teleporting across multiple timelines, either to the past or to the future. But it's once you get the natch that once you understand that time is just another dimension like space, it's just one more point that you're putting into the gizmo, then you've got it. So basically what happened that in 1971, Andy was in the Project Pegasus time travel program. His father was in CIA, and Andy had been chosen as a subject in this time travel program. They chose bright young children, 6, 7, 8 years old, because they could time travel better than adults, because the adults got caught up with their egos. Right. It was very difficult for them to time travel to the past, say to the Gettysburg Address,
which there is photographic proof.
Yeah,
young Andrew Bashago was there during the Gettysburg Address with Abraham Lincoln. Is that correct?
Yeah, and this is the famous photograph that was in the Smithsonian Institute.
Yeah.
That was curated by Life magazine. I personally knew the photographic editor of Life magazine. So it's a very, very well curated photograph. And this is of Andrew D. Bashago as a young 6, 7-year-old boy in Gettysburg while President Lincoln was giving the Gettysburg Address, and he got there via time travel. He was time traveled there, just like in the movie Back to the Future. Yep. And Back to the Future is a leak. That's how they leak out to the public that they have this technology. Well, Andy also went to the future. He went to the year 2045 and back. And this is part of a project by which the future in 2045 helped the past in 1971 get to the future successfully. So there's a benefit here. There's a lot going on that's beneficial.
Now, let me interject here. Didn't our sitting president, Barack Obama, wasn't he a part of this program as well?
Oh, sure. Barack Obama, who was then known as Barry Soetoro, before he assumed the name Barack Obama, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
It's a whole different story.
Save that for another day.
Yeah. He actually teleported as part of a whole group, the what they call the CIA Mars Jump Room. He teleported to the planet Mars, and we have a testimony of 3 of his other fellow jumpers to Mars. And when I published that story, the public relations director of the U.S. National Security Council, which includes the president, the vice president, secretary of defense, secretary of state, issued a statement to Wired magazine denying that story. Now, Count von Bismarck, who was the absolutely the ace of international diplomacy, said, once you have an official denial, you know that the story is true.
Well, and some of my listeners out there are probably saying, they're sitting back in their chairs right now saying, this is a bunch of malarkey. It sounds like Star Trek to me. And they're tuning out. But we have evidence. I mean, documented evidence to prove everything that we're saying here, guys and gals. This is something that is not science fiction. It is something that our federal government, our government has been putting billions and billions of our tax dollars into doing. I mean, this is technology that is way beyond even the technology we're thinking that we might have even gotten through Project Paperclip or even the Nazis back during World War II. Is that correct?
Correct. And here's the punchline
that
we're talking about on September 11, 2014, is that in 1971, Andy Vishaga was taken to a science lab, to a time laboratory, where he was, that was headed up by Dr. Sterling Colgate, and in the Aerojet facility in New Mexico. And they went into the time laboratory, and there were about 20 TV monitors that were all stacked there. And they had, time scientists in lab coats and photo analysts. Mm-hmm. And the guy said, watch this. And there on the TV screen, what they saw was the image of a commercial passenger airliner that traveled across the screen slowly, and it crashed into one of the Twin Towers in downtown Manhattan, causing a dense fireball to erupt in the area of its impact into the building. And this was a videotape loop that they were shown about 20 seconds in duration that they looped around and around.
Alfred, we're going to pick it up at the top of the hour here. We got a little break coming up here. It is 9:56 in the p.m. You are listening to KBeach.org, KBeach 88.1 FM, HD3, KBeach right here, California State University, Long Beach. This is Donny Gillson, 32 Degrees of Insanity on the Truth Frequency Radio Network. Stick around, guys. We got a lot to talk about this next coming hour. It's going to be an incredible hour, so you're not going to want to sit still. And we'll be right back after this message.
We are TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere land, please listen. You don't know
right, guys and gals, we are back. It is 32 Degrees of Insanity right here on the Truth Frequency Radio Network, and also KBeach Radio is kbeach.org and KBeach FM 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. It is so good to be back, guys. This is the second hour of 32 Degrees of Insanity, the brand new show right here on the KBeach, California State University, Long Beach platform. I am so excited to be here. If you're just tuning in, you just got a chance to tune in. You can always catch the archives of all these shows. We are going to be putting them up on the podcast at kbeach.org. Be learning how to do that. And Alfred, if you want to put yourself on mute, that'd be great. And also, we will also be putting this on Spreaker.com. We do have we have our archives on Spreaker, and you can also catch our archives on the Truth Frequency Radio Network as well. That's truthfrequencyradio.com, where we have a plethora of great programming. We have awesome programming here on KBeach as well. Oh my gosh, all kinds of things happening out here. Actually, following my show is Sex on the Beach, or Sex on the Beach. Sex in the Beach or Sex on the Beach? I have to remember. But that is an incredible show. You have to listen into that as well. And I'm hoping to get some of my friends up in L.A. To be part of that show as well. You know, if you're just tuning in, tonight we've been talking about 9/11. We've also been talking about how George Walker Bush Jr. and how Dick Cheney, Tony Blair, how they've been found guilty of war crimes, and now the 9/11 tribunal is being reopened. We are presenting evidence in regards to these horrific crimes against humanity. And the sitting judge on this tribunal, Alfred Webre, is my special guest tonight, and we're going to bring him on in a couple seconds here. But we also got a lot of great shows coming up here for 32 Degrees of Insanity. In fact, next week, I'm hoping, and I know he's listening tonight, so I'm hoping that he's doing well, because I know he's been dealing with some things. Our general manager, Trey, absolutely another conspiracy guy. So I'm on the air tonight. I'm inviting you, Trey. If you want to come on the air with me next week, I'd love to have you, and we can talk about a lot of things that we've been talking about these last couple of days. And we'd love to get get KBeach involved with 32 Degrees of Insanity. As last week we had the owners of the Truth Frequency Radio Network, Chris Gio and Cherie Gio. They joined me last week on the premiere on September 4th, 2014, which was the premiere of 32 Degrees of Insanity right here at KBeach Studios. And then following next week, we are going to have two great guests. My brother, Leo Lion-Zagami, a 33rd degree Freemason. He grew up in the Illuminati and has written a book called Confessions of the Illuminati. It is a 3-volume book. Actually, the second volume, Leo actually dedicated a chapter to me. I myself am a 32nd degree Freemason. I am a Knights Templar with both the York Rite and the Scottish Rite. I have been a Mason since 2007, I think it is. It's been a long time now. It's kind of wild, because one of the guys that I went through my first 3 degrees of Masonry at my Blue Lodge is now becoming the worshipful master of our lodge, which is craziness to me that he is going through. So a lot of well wishes for him as well. But, it's not all we talk about on this show, but Leo is going to be joining me along with his publisher, Brad Olson. Brad Olson is up in San Francisco. He owns a company called CCC Publishing. Brad has been a longtime guest on my show. We have talked. He wrote a book called The Future Esoteric. And we are going to be talking about how Leo is now converting his Italian book, Confessions of the Illuminati, all 3 volumes, to English. It's in Italian right now and Japanese. So he's converting that over to English for our United States audience to listen to, our English reading audience to read. Leo and Brad will be with me on the 20, I think it is the 24th. Let me double check here. I want to say, because we're here every Thursday night, it is actually on the 25th of September. And then on the 2nd of October, this is an incredible show, we are going to have Laura Eisenhower, the great-granddaughter of Dwight D. Eisenhower, who was also recruited into this time travel program we were talking about earlier in last hour, Project Pegasus. So we were going to have Laura on the show on October 2nd. And then on October 9th,